What's going on, guys? Matt here. So today we are looking at the BPS Beta. This is the first BPS knife that I have reviewed. So this is a new brand for me, a new company for me. I was really interested to check out some of their blades. Before we get into the review, I do just want to let you know, I reached out to BPS and asked them if they wanted to send me any blades for review. They said, sure, pick out a blade. We'd be happy to send it over to you. So we are going to assume that this is probably the best quality control we're going to see from them. And I will try to do my best to not let that kind of skew my review. But, you know, just so you're aware, I'll try to be as unbiased as possible, but I want you guys to know that. So we are going to do some size comparisons. We'll talk about the specs real quick. Then we'll talk about what I like, what I dislike, and we'll conclude the video. Maybe there'll be something unique. I've kind of been moving away from that because there's not always something unique about a blade. All right, let's do some size comparisons real quick. So let's look at it compared to a classic fixed blade, or a classic folder rather, Cold Steel Recon 1. Similar size, you know, this is an EDC-able fixed blade. I'd say it's getting a little bit heavy and large for an EDC-able fixed blade, but, you know, really no issue. Sorry about that, hit the camera. All right, let's look at another Cold Steel 8010, and this is the Tonto 8010. Midway USA had this insane deal on these the other day. It was like $70. It was crazy. And then we'll do one more. This has been a pretty popular one. I can't wait to review this one, guys. You'll have to let me know if you have any experience with this. This is the Schrade Divergent. I got it for like 18 bucks. Crossbar lock, axis lock. Once Benchmade lost their patent, they didn't renew it. G10 scales, Aussate steel. This thing's freaking outstanding for the price. Like, I can't say enough good things about it. A better QC than any Griptilian I've had, too. So, I don't know if that says anything about Benchmade. I've really lost all interest in that company just because of their prices, really. Like, what they're asking for their prices is absolutely ridiculous. I love supporting U.S. companies, but go buy a Case Marilla or Kinzua for, you know, 25-30% less with better materials. You want to support a U.S. company. Anyway, all right, let's talk specs. So we're looking at D2 steel on this BPS company, on this BPS Beta. It says the HRC is 60 to 61. That's pretty standard for D2 steel. Total length is 8.6 inches. Blade length is 3.9 inches. Blade thickness is 3 millimeters. So that's, I'd call that standard for like a fixed blade this size. It's actually perfect. We'll get into that. It's perfect for a fixed blade this size. You know, camp knife, EDC knife. Weighs 4.9 ounces. That is without the sheath. The handle material is finished micarta, as you can see. Handle length is 4.6 inches, and it comes with a, I thought it was Kydex, to be honest, but they call it ABS plastic sheath. It really feels like Kydex. Again, this will be something we talk about in the pros to give you a little heads up. All right, let's talk about what I like. So I love the look of this knife. What I like specifically about it is it looks like old world craftsmanship, right? You have kind of this unfinished look to the unground, you know, bevel. It looks like kind of hammer pounded almost, like, you know, this was forged, this was handmade, and it is. The BPS knives are handmade. They're made in Ukraine. Apparently they're providing blades to the Ukrainian soldiers, so that's pretty cool, even in the middle of a war, so that's pretty crazy. But I just love the unfinished look of this. You know, when I pulled this out, my wife was like, that looks so much cooler than any of your other knives. And I think it's because it looks like what knives used to look like, right? You know, now they grind them down and they make them as shiny, you know, as possible. And I love like a really pretty blade, don't get me wrong, but this just feels like a classic utilitarian knife. And I love, love, love the looks on this thing. Another thing I like about it, simple drop point blade. It's just really simple, and I think it's smart to do it in a blade like this. We don't need anything special. We don't need harpoon styled. We don't need a clip point on something like this. It keeps the tip relatively stout. So there's some sap on there, by the way. That's why that looks like that. So I really like the blade design. Another thing I love is the jimping is absolutely perfect. And you can tell this is handmade because the fit and finish, while really good, is, I don't know, it has this... it just has this handmade feel to it. That's the only way I can really describe it because the fit and finish is quite good. But I love this jimping. It's not so sharp that it cuts your hand, but boy, does it lock you in. And there is, you can kind of see right there, a little bit of a hump as it goes up. And so that jimping is just absolutely perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I think it's outstanding. Well done on the jimping on that. Another thing I love, this handle, very comfortable, smoothed out, just it indexes perfectly with my hand. I have extra large hands and I still have plenty of room on this handle. So the fit and finish on the handle is also quite nice. You know, again, you know, it looks good, but it has kind of a unfinished look to it. Tell me if I'm crazy. Like, the whole blade kind of has a rough look to it while also having pretty good fit and finish. So I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but you guys tell me if you think you kind of get what I'm saying. So really enjoy the handle, love the blade, love the unfinished look to it. And the last thing I want to mention is the sheath is just excellent. So I didn't mention this in specs, but you'll spend about 60 to 70 bucks on this blade for a handmade blade made in D2. I don't think that's bad at all. I really don't, especially with the sheath. I thought this was Kydex. The way the material feels, comes with a clip on the back. It comes mounted, so it's facing up, but I mounted it horizontal for scout carry. Is how I prefer to carry a blade like this. And this thing just locks in. I mean, this is the best. Oh, well, there's something coming out of there. All right, so maybe we got issues with the clip here. We'll have to take a look at that here in a little while. But aside from that clip issue right there, this sheath is outstanding. I mean, it locks in beautifully. So I just think the sheath is outstanding. The blade is really excellent. The handle it's just a great blade, guys. You know, I just think it's an outstanding blade. So the only thing I can mention about what I don't like is because of how well the sheath retains, you'll see that it kind of mars the handle a bit right there. So when it's going over, kind of that part right there, that piece of plastic that retains it, it kind of digs into the micarta. I don't think it's really a big deal. You know, it doesn't bother me all that much. And the reason it doesn't bother me is because of how good the retention is on this. So that's really the only negative thing I can mention about it. I just think it's an outstanding blade. I think it's a perfect camp knife. I could not ask for like a better belt knife to pair with either like a big bowie or a axe or a saw. You know, I just think it's an outstanding blade. As an absolute recommend, BPS, well done on the beta. I'd love to review some more of your knives. I'm not sure I'm gonna like any of them more than this because I just think this is an outstanding camp knife. So well done, they knocked it out of the park on this one. I absolutely recommend it. Go pick one up on Amazon. And before we go, I just wanna let you guys know that BPS did give me a coupon code. So if you wanna pick it up, go to bpsknives.com and you can use the code MATT10 to get 10% off. That's MATT10 to get 10% off. You know, go pick one up. This is an outstanding blade, and it's you know, made in Ukraine, just with great standards and great materials. So pick one of these up, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.